Love Logan. Flashback now, 5 years ago. Logan playing for nationally ranked Lakewood St. Edwards up at Wheeling Park High School. A little skinnier then, he was still nice. A game we televised here. Logan killed Park, burying some long-range threes. Look how far this last three is out. Lakewood St. Edwards won the game 75-71. He had 31. Look at this three by Logan.
Why not?
My goodness. Great game at Wheeling Park. Back to today's game now. 5.9 seconds left against Memphis. Memphis up 2. Guess who? Logan going all the way, and the floater ties it. We're going to overtime. He had 30 points today and is now second in all-time Cincinnati scoring behind Oscar Robertson in overtime. Emmanuel McElroy scores. Bearcats go up 1. Last chance for Memphis. Antonio Burks. And no, Cincinnati wins it. 80-75. Top-ranked Kansas against Missouri today. Good game. Let's go to 3 minutes left. That's when it really gets good. Clarence Gilbert. That's a three. We're tied at 87. Then watch this move by the freshman, Keith Langford. Oh, and he was fouled. Kansas up 1, 30 seconds to go. Jeff Boschee, a little short, but Drew Gooden tips it in for Kansas. They lead by 2. Last chance for Missouri. Go back to Gilbert, but he would not make the three. Kansas wins by 2. First team in Big 12 history to go unbeaten in conference play. They're 16-0. Great game as Kansas still number 1. Still ahead on the Sunday Sports page, West Liberty's 3-time first-team all-conference guard, Michael Jebbia, is here to talk about his career and much more next. This is the Sunday Sports page. Sports page. Always good to have West Liberty's Michael Jebbia on the show tonight. Mike, hey, congratulations on a great career, and I know it was disappointing to see it end in Charleston the other day, being blown out by Salem, but you got your licks in on Salem throughout your career. Comment on your West Liberty career, because a lot of people loved it.
It was a great career. Got to play college basketball for 4 years, got a good education, and it was a tough way to go out against Salem, but I think, you know, the last 2 years, if anybody had their number in the West Virginia Conference, it was West Liberty State, but it was a tough way to go out. Unfortunately, in 4 years, never got out of the quarterfinals down there in Charleston. But all in all, I think it's been a good 4-year run.
Yeah, with your 8-year run, including high school, you've had a lot of games at the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. Some memorable games that a lot of folks around here remember, especially the triple overtime thriller your freshman year when you beat Beckley, Woodrow Wilson, and of course you lost to Woodrow Wilson in the finals a couple of years later. But you know, you almost called Charleston Civic Center Coliseum your home floor as much as you played at Wheeling Park. Yeah,
played about 12 or 13 games on it, I think. And, you know, of course, the first year, 95, the triple overtime state championship epic, which was a great game for, you know, Valley fans. And then 97, we lost to Beckley Woodrow Wilson in the finals. And then back my senior year, we lost to a Tamar Slay-led Beckley team in the 98 semis in front of 12,000 people at the Charleston Civic Center. So, yeah, it was a lot of good games with Beckley Woodrow Wilson.
That's for sure. You're second all-time in scoring at West Liberty State College, just 70 shy of Spencer Johnson's mark, but you are still number 1 at Wheeling Park High School, which is an unbelievable feat considering all the players Wheeling Park has had, and plus being the biggest high school in the Ohio Valley.
Yes, I think actually there are 10 1,000-point scorers at Wheeling Park, so I think Durain Goodwin is now second. I passed Shane back in 98, but yeah, there are, you know, 10 1,000-point scores, and I guess that is a pretty good honor.
Yeah, Shane Mallett, of course, one of the best players on a couple of your teams. You've had a lot of great players. When you look back at some of the old video of the Rafael Cruz, the Javier Gonzalez that you play with, Danny Blankenship, who is a Division I guard himself at Bucknell, and you throw in a lot of those names with a lot of the huge names you played against, and you've really been around the block, especially with some of those Beckley kids who are now playing in college.
Yes, if you look around, I mean, every time you turn on the TV, you're seeing a Steve Logan or a Sam Clancy, a Brett Nelson, and then, of course, you know, guys that I played with, Darius and Bryce Mills, of course, this year at West Liberty. It was a great addition for us. Had a great year, averaged about 15 points a game and 8 rebounds. But back to players, you know, you played against, you got Tamar Slay starring at Marshall and Jamel Bradley at South Carolina. You know, the list goes on and on. It's kind of neat to, you know, turn on the TV and say, you know, I played against those guys.
Yeah, nearly beat St. Edward up at Wheeling Park,
Yeah.
and it was an unbelievable atmosphere. Of course, they had Steve Lepore as well, a kid who went to, where did he go, Northwestern first?
Northwestern, 2-year stint, and then took a year off. Had to sit out when he went to Wake Forest.
Yeah, but my goodness, we mentioned Shane Mallett. Of course, his father, John's been with Sam Andy at Wheeling Park since the inception of the high school. He's stepping down this year, and a lot of people are wondering, is Michael Jebbia going to be the new assistant coach at Wheeling Park next year?
Well, I'm not real sure about that. I definitely want to get into the coaching field. Actually, I have one more year of school to complete. I got 12 hours to take in the fall and then finish the student teaching requirements in the spring. But, I definitely like to get into some type of coaching, maybe, even a GA in college. But I do know the Wheeling Park position is open. We'll just have to wait and see.
Now, of course, you'd take it, right? I mean, if it was offered to you?
Possibly, yeah. I don't know if somebody in the system would want it, but we're just going to have to wait and see how things pan out.
Yeah, you're going into teaching, right? Your degree will be in education?
Physical education and special education. So.
Never know. If you ever start coaching at Wheeling Park, you never know if Sam happens to get out one of these days. Yeah. Boy, that'd be neat to see as the head coach.
It would be. I'm sure Coach Andy's got about 4 or 5 more years. He's an Ironman. They'll be wheeling him out there. Yeah, Coach Andy's done a great job there. He doesn't back down to anybody, and they're 10-13 this year, but they are playing Tuesday night to go to Charleston. Yeah. So.
Wouldn't be surprised if they beat Parkersburg South on Tuesday night.
Parkersburg's got to come up to the Northern Panhandle, so it won't be easy for the Southern Patriots.
May see Michael Jebbia coaching the sidelines at Wheeling Park, or you may see him playing overseas in basketball somewhere. When we come back on the Sunday Sports Page, more with Michael Jebbia and his thoughts about a big tryout camp coming up. Stay with us.
Original Tough Man contest as seen on FX. Co-sponsored by Whiteside Auto Dealers. It's coming March 8th and 9th to the Wheeling Civic Center. Discounted tickets are on sale now at the Civic Center box office and all Ticketmaster outlets, including Giant Eagle, Coffins, and Radio Shack New Martinsville. Call 1-800-296-3897. It's the 22nd annual Budweiser Tough Man contest, March 8th and 9th at the Wheeling Civic Center. Tough it out.
When the weather takes a turn for the worse, you know that means school delays and cancellations.
We're back. Michael Jebbia, 3-time first-team All-Conference in the West Virginia Conference. Pretty impressive feat. Not many people have done that for 3 years in a row, let alone a little kid from Warwood, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you are joining some illustrious company there, 3-time All-Conference. The only person that I actually played with, during the 4 years in the conference that did that was Kalen Smith, who is a senior at the University of Charleston. He's the only other one that I played with in the conference that made first team all 3 years.
Charleston upset in the final at the buzzer.
Yes, they were. AB, they just did a great job. Actually, what happened there was their coach just got the job November the 4th.
Yeah, that was a great story.
Kind of thrown into the fire there, and it was great to see AB pull that off. 9 guys, and primarily only the 5 starters played the whole game, and they were led by Kevin McBride, who had just an unbelievable tournament, Mullins native.
Yeah, anytime Salem or Charleston loses, especially in the finals, it's good to see.
Yeah, it is. AB, they upset Salem, then come back and upset Charleston the next night. It was a great run for them.
The West Liberty Wheeling Jesuit games have been pretty special through the years, whether it's in the holiday tournament or whether it's in the regular season or whether it's in the postseason. Boy, they've been some great games, and especially when they've been around here because a lot of fans just flock to see you play, and especially some of the Wheeling kids.
Always a great atmosphere when you talk about West Liberty and Wheeling Jesuit. My first 2 years, we kind of had their number, and my junior and senior, they kind of had our number. I think I ended up 7-5 against them. And then in the last game, we got them up at home in our gym and enabled us to play a home game for the first round of the tournament.
So many people wanted to see you go big time, quote, Division I when you came out of high school. But be honest and tell me how fun you had, a great time you had at a Division II school at West Liberty and being the star.
I had a great time. At Division I may have went somewhere and not played and not been comfortable with the situation. So I went somewhere where I thought I could play and contribute right away, and West Liberty turned out to be a great fit for me.
Sure was. Of course, you're going to a tryout camp now in Utah, right? Tell me about that and where that may take you.
Yes, I was invited to it's called the Utah Showcase Camp, and actually there's 2 different camps. There's one in April and May, and 300 college basketball players are invited to this, and there's scouts, agents there and whatnot, and from teams over in Europe and the USBL. So I think it'd be a good opportunity, just to see what happens.
What might come out of that? Overseas hoops?
Possibly. See, I think they're somewhat strict over there when you go to Europe. Only 2 Americans are out on a team, so you have to, wait and see what type of offer pops up. You don't want, you want to make sure the offer is right. And Actually, I think a couple of players that played college ball recently around here, Seth Martin last year, who played Cal PA, he went out there. And I actually think Wheeling's current assistant coach, Danny Sancombe, went out there.
Yeah.
So
if you got a teaching job or a basketball job, whichever came first, which one would you take next year?
I'd probably take the basketball job, I guess, you know. Of course, teaching, I still got to finish a year of school.
That's
so,
true, yeah.
Yeah, I got a year of school after.
A lot of weight. A coaching job, teaching, playing, who knows? We'll definitely let you know where you'll be headed. So, hey, great career, great job at Wheeling Park, West Liberty State College's Michael Jebbia, first team all-conference for 3 years in a row, and of course Wheeling Park's all-time leading scorer and second at West Liberty. Thanks for coming in tonight, man.
Thank you, Mike.
Great stuff. We'll have more on the Sunday Sports page right after this.